Hey guys, I'm back to talk about some of the most challenging clients that you'll encounter in your practice, especially for those of you who are starting out in the hypnosis world. And yes, I'm wearing the same shirt. I'm actually filming this all at once, but thought it would be fun to release it in segments. So today we're going to talk about the resistant client. And the term resistance is really problematic. It's problematic because it really doesn't give you any idea what's happening with the client. And in fact, I don't believe in resistant clients because there's always something else going on there. If you have a client who comes in and is outright, no, I'm not doing it, meaning you have resistance to compliance, you don't have a client. You need to choose to either work really hard to get them on track or you fire them because something went off in the intake process or the consultation process. Those clients are really rare. What happens more often is you have a client who comes in who wants to change, you have some level of compliance, and yet they seem to not go into trance. So we're going to talk about in this video some of the things that could be going on. Now, of course, this is by no stretch of the imagination the entire story, but this will give you some ideas in which to explore and ways to go to address this. First, clients who we tend to label as resistant can fall into some specific categories. The first category is the polarity responder. These are the people who go yes, but. They'll follow you to an extent and then they try to find some counter to whatever you're saying. So you could give a suggestion and automatically in their head they're going to find some way to prove it wrong. I'm not going to talk about this particular client in this video. I'll be talking about it in our yes but video. But just be aware that those clients do exist, and they can be fairly common depending on the niche that you're working in. The next type of client is a client who is listed as resistant, but they really aren't. This is the client who tends to be unsure of themselves, unsure if they're doing the right thing. These are clients who might have trepidation about going into trance. So as a bit of a safety mechanism, if you will, they will consciously or unconsciously resist. They won't follow suggestions or you don't have compliance with them. With these clients, it's really easy to address the issue. The first thing you do, we'll take it a step back. What you can do first is really consider how you pre-frame hypnosis. There might be something in the pre-frames, if you're getting a lot of clients in this category, that needs to be addressed and cleaned up. That's really simple to fix. There might be it might just be a matter of having to change how you explain hypnosis or the expectation of the experience. So that's easy. If your pre-frames are well set and you have lots of success normally, and this type of client walks in, then the first thing you do is you pace their experience and say, look, I get the sense here that you're a little bit unsure about the hypnosis process. You want to talk about it? Get them to vocalize what's going on. Most of the time they'll tell you. They'll say something like, yeah, I'm a little bit unsure, I'm afraid I'm going to give up my secrets, or I don't know if I'm doing it right. A lot of times it's really something simple that you can clear up with another frame or with an easy explanation that once you've addressed it, it's no problem. You're good to go. These clients who have more trepidation around hypnosis, they need more assurance. They need more assurance, reassurance, and if you just ask them, they're more than willing once you open the door to express whatever they're feeling. I had a client once who came to see me who was the resistant client, and I set up all of my pre-frames. We were ready to go forward, but I hadn't calibrated as closely as I should have, and when I started to do the induction, she kept pulling herself out of it, When I asked her about it, I said, what's happening here? There was this sigh of relief. It was like her unconscious mind went, oh, thank God you're paying attention. And she ended up telling me that she grew up in a particular religion, and even though she had left that faith and doesn't believe it anymore, there's still some fear because she was told that, if she was hypnotized, she'd be possessed or something like that. That was really easy to address once it was vocalized. In fact, once she vocalized it, she kind of looked to the side as if looking back at herself and was like, oh, that's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? So giving the client a chance to vocalize can go a long way. The next type of client who falls into the resistant category is going to be the client who tries too hard. They're going to want to be as compliant as possible. And sometimes too much compliance is problematic because what happens is that there's too much conscious involvement. The conscious mind wants to please you so much that there isn't space for unconscious processing to come to the forefront. And I'm going to do another video to talk about specifically how to work with those clients as well. Just know, like, the key takeaway from this is that there really isn't resistance. There might be problems with compliance, which you have to make a decision there whether you're going to keep the client and work for it, or you're going to get provocative and challenge them, or you're going to fire them. I have had some clients that I can't even call them clients because from the outset, they weren't compliant. And when I challenged them, they said that they were going to take me up on that challenge. They still weren't compliant, so I had to say, look, we're not the right fit. Time to move on. Other clients, if you do some pacing and leading, compliance becomes much easier to establish. So for resistance to take place, it's either going to be a lack of compliance, it could be a lack of rapport, and that means that the relationship just isn't where it needs to be yet in order for trance to happen, so slow things down. And you'll know this more so from your own feeling as a hypnotist than necessarily anything specific that the client's doing. Some clients will tell you, hey, slow down. Other clients won't. But if you feel in yourself that things are moving too quickly and this client isn't going into trance, then just take a step back, take a breath, reset, and go from there. And I think for now I'm going to end this video. I hope you found it interesting. As I mentioned, I'm kind of being really informal about this, so maybe I'm going on a bit about this stuff. But I hope you're enjoying it. Feel free to post other types of resistant clients that you've faced and how you've helped them to transform their lives. And as always, like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends, and thanks so much. Bye.